Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's new English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Well, hello again to all of you out there in Hungarian TV land. Welcome one and welcome all. Welcome back to M5's English language program. How are you all today? Great, I hope. Well, it's a new year and we're ready to get stuck in to some more English. We're already in the studio. We've had a few hours to recover from the New Year's Eve party, and now we're back in the studio, ready to help you improve your English and learn some more new English. So, are you ready? Yes? I can't hear you. Let's try again. Are you ready? Okay, that's better. Right then, let's get on with today's lesson. Okay, let's test our memories. What was the last thing we learned last year in our English lessons? Ooh, blimey, Gav. I know. It seems like a million miles away, doesn't it? Well, let's just think together about what we learned at the end of last year. Well, it's not that long ago. In the last couple of weeks, before the Christmas holidays and before the New Year's Eve celebrations, we looked at some very important grammar. We compared two English tenses, the present simple and the present continuous. Then, we started to learn another very important tense, the past simple. Okay, now what do we call the period before 12 noon on the 2nd of January? Easy. That's this morning. Okay, and what about a week on Thursday? What's that date? Bingo-licious. A week on Thursday is the 12th of January. And what about after 6 p.m. on the 3rd of January? That's right, that's tomorrow evening. And if I tell you that I went to a party the day before yesterday, which day was the party on? Correct, a snack doodle-doo. It was the 31st of December. It was New Year's Eve. Great! And if I tell you that I'm going running the day after tomorrow, what day am I talking about? That's correct. I'm talking about the 4th of January. Well done. Okay. Let's see all of those in a table, shall we? Mabel. Are you there, Mabel? Ah, Mabel. There you are. Mabel, willing and able. Information in a table. Okay, great. Now, just as I promised, it's time for us to catch up with Dave and Alfredo. They're in their local pub again. Let's listen to what they're talking about. Evening, Alfredo. Alfredo, what's wrong with you? You look awful. Dave, believe me, I know. And I also feel awful. Well, tell me what happened. What happened? Dave, what do you think happened? Gordon came round on New Year's Eve. Gordon, your brother-in-law? Yes, Gordon. Mary's brother, my brother-in-law. Okay. And what did you do? Well, Mary and the kids stayed at home, and Gordon and I went to the pub. Okay, so what happened? Well, after the pub closed, we went back to Gordon's flat and continued drinking. Oh, I see. What time did you leave Gordon's flat? I think I left at 3-ish. And when did you get home? At 5-ish. What? It took you 2 hours to get home? How far from your house does Gordon live? Gordon lives about 2 kilometers away. 2 kilometers? How can it take anyone 2 hours to walk 2 kilometers? A dog with 1 leg could do it in 2 hours. I know, and please stop shouting. I've got a headache, and I've got a stomachache, and I've got a sore throat. My God, Alfredo, you're a mess. You've got a cold and a hangover. I know. How did you catch a cold? I caught a cold when I walked back home from Gordon's flat. I stopped in the park, sat down on a wet park bench, and fell asleep. Ooh, nasty. You fell asleep on a wet park bench. How long did you sleep for? I slept for about an hour, I think. When I woke up, I was soaking wet. I walked home coughing and sneezing. When I got home, I made myself a hot cup of tea with lemon and honey, but I've still got a cold. And what about your head and stomach? Well, that's because of the alcohol. Well, how much did you drink? I can't remember. A lot, I think. You can't remember? Good God! Well, in the pub, we drank beer. What sort of beer did you drink? Bitter, lager, pilsner, stout? We drank pilsner and lager. And what about after the pub? Well, we drank a couple of cans of stout at Gordon's flat. But he didn't have any more beer, so we drank wine. What type of wine did you drink? Did you drink white wine or red wine? Both. We started with white wine and then we drank some red wine. When the wine ran out, we started drinking spirits. Blimey! You two certainly know how to have a party. Which spirits did you drink? Well, I drank gin, vodka, whiskey, rum, and brandy. I don't know what Gordon drank. Gordon fell asleep on the sofa. So, what did you do when Gordon fell asleep? Well, I finished the bottle of brandy and then I left. Jesus wept! Alfredo! Is Gordon okay? I think so. I tried to call him, but his phone's turned off. And what happened when you finally got home? Well, like I said, I made some tea with honey and lemon, and then I went to bed. I woke Mary up. She wasn't very happy. I'm in the doghouse now. I'm not surprised. Why aren't you at home now? Well, Mary's still not very happy, so I thought I'd come here until she calms down. And what are you drinking? Beer. You've got a hangover and you're drinking alcohol. You're mad. No, I thought it would help. You know, a hair of the dog that bit you. Okay, hair of the dog. Is it working? No, not really. I still feel awful. Alfredo, I think you should go home. Go home and go to bed. You need some rest. I think you're right, Dave. Do you want the rest of my pint? No. No thanks, Alfredo. I don't want to catch your cold. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Oh well, I'm off home. See you later, Dave. Bye, Alfredo. Sleep well. Blimey, Alfredo certainly pushed the boat out this New Year's Eve, didn't he? Let's have another look at some of the new vocabulary we heard in that conversation. Well, we know the word awful. Awful is a synonym for horrible and terrible. What about the verb to continue? Well, to continue is to start again or to not stop. What about ish? Do you remember ish? That's right. We add ish to the end of a word to mean approximately. What about Dave's question? How far from? How far from is a question asking about the distance from one place to another. How far is Balaton-Örsöd from Budapest? It's about 130 kilometers. Good. Now, what about a headache and a stomachache? Well, a headache is when your head hurts. And a stomachache is when your stomach hurts. A sore throat is when your throat is painful, when your throat hurts. Alfredo has got a hangover. He's hung over. A hangover is when you feel terrible after you drink too much alcohol. Alfredo has also got a cold. When you've got a cold, you've got an infection, which normally means that your nose is blocked, you sneeze, achoo, and you have a sore throat. What about the phrase soaking wet? That means that something is full of water, not just a little damp, not wet, no. This is really, really wet. This is as wet as a blue whale's socks. Very wet. Okay, everyone. I'm afraid that we've come to the end of today's lesson. We're out of time. Well, it's been great fun today. Back in the studio after the holidays, listening to Alfredo's problems with his hangover and cold. I hope you enjoyed the lesson too. Right then, I'll see you next lesson. Have fun and don't mix your drinks like Alfredo on New Year's Eve. I'm Gav Duncan, and you've been watching M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. And don't forget, you can also catch up with the other English lessons at www.m5tv.hu. You can watch all the videos from day one, and there's a separate section for all the vocabulary we've learned. Okay, I'm Gav Duncan. I'm not Officer John Baker or Officer Frank Poncherello. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.